Crime story. The last case. Sergeant Frank Spike sat behind his desk and stared out of the window. Outside, a steady stream of traffic passed by, each car moving slowly in the cold, grey rain. Frank looked down at the grey hairs on his arm and his round stomach, which pushed against the desk. This was his final month before he retired from the police. And for Frank, retirement couldn't come soon enough. Frank frowned as he considered the terrible retirement package he had been given. It was barely enough money to take a short holiday on the cold and rainy east coast of England where he lived. There was no way he could afford the round the world luxury cruise he had always dreamed of. Just as Frank was singing heavily, Inspector Spencer came up to see his desk. With his perfect white teeth and enthusiastic smile. 3 years earlier, Spencer had been promoted. Now he had the position of inspector at the young age of 40. Frank, in comparison, had worked for the police for 40 years and been passed over for promotion 3 times. It was true, he had neither the looks nor charm of Inspector Spencer. But the younger man didn't have Frank's nose for crime. That nose meant Frank could get inside the mind of the criminal and solve the trickiest of cases. As a result, the younger man often asked for Frank's help. In fact, it was pretty much the only time Spencer spoke to him. Hey Frank, do you mind if I ask your advice about something? Unsurprised, Frank nodded. Have you heard of the Babingtons? Everyone had heard of the Babingtons. Ronald Babington was the millionaire owner of Babington Oil, and his wife Tabitha was a model. Together, they enjoyed nothing more than showing off how rich they were. They often appeared in magazines like Hello, with their gorgeous house and collection of sports cars. Most recently, they had invited the press to take photographs of the enormous diamond Ronald had bought for his bride. Under the protection of a sophisticated alarm system, the diamond sat in a large gold and glass cases. The case stood at the end of a long red carpet. Spencer posed for dramatic effect, then explained. We have had some secret information about a plan to steal the Babington diamond. Frank raised his eyebrows in an attempt to look suitably impressed. Peggy, the owner of the dog, and Duckpop heard a couple of local criminals talking about it. She has asked that we keep her identity secret, of course, but our officers have made some discreet inquiries that seem to confirm what Peggy says. Frank nodded again and waited for the inevitable question. So, Spencer asked, what do you think is the best thing to do? After all, it's only a rumor, We have got nothing concrete to arrest them on. Frank looked thoughtfully out of the window. He remembered his retirement money. He didn't want to be alone in his retirement. But the money wouldn't even be enough to buy a cat to keep him company. The sound of a car horn brought him back to the case. He put his fingers together under his chin to look as if he was thinking deeply, which he was, but not quite in the direction Inspector Spencer expected. Listen, do this the clever way, said Frank, leaning towards the younger officer. What you need to do is let them commit the crime. If you catch them red handed, you have got all the evidence you need. No problem. But Frank, said Spencer, we need the approval of the Bobbington family, and there are laws about tracking criminals like that, you know? That's why you let them commit the crime. Then, apparently by chance, stop them from speeding as they escape the crime scene. You search the car to find the diamond and you have caught them red-handed. Plus, the owner of the pub is protected and you have all the evidence you need. Okay. Spencer was uncomfortable with the methods Frank was suggesting, but he couldn't deny the plan would work. Frank continued. Of course, you need to ensure the arresting officer is someone you know is reliable. Spencer understood immediately. Are you sure you want to do it, Frank? It could be dangerous. I will make sure I am with a couple of young officers. But yes, of course, I want to do it. Why? Asked Spencer. You are just about to retire. Don't you want to take it easy? That's exactly why I want to do it, Frank replied. My last case will be my final chance for glory. A few days later, Frank went into the dog and duck pub after work. Did you get it? He asked Peggy as she handed him his ring. Yes, I'm now the proud owner of a perfect replica Babington diamond, she said. I told the glassmaker I was a huge fan of the Bobbingtons and that my mean boyfriend wouldn't buy me a diamond of my own. You need a new boyfriend, said Frank. If I were your boyfriend, I would buy you a diamond ring and take you on a long luxury cruise if I had the chance. Oh, really? She said and smiled. Frank was sitting in the back seat of the police car, which was hidden on the road through the woods to the Bobbington mansion. In the front seats were two young officers who were strong and reliable. At 20:30, a message had come in on the police radio. The burglars had met outside the dog and duck pub. At 23:37, the young men started the car and left the pub. In the passenger seat was a tall, athletic woman. At midnight, the pair passed the hidden police car on their way to the mansion. At 12:13, the woman threw heavy ropes over one of the mansion's garden walls. A second hidden police team watched her climb over while the men waited in the car. At 12:20, the woman reappeared at the top of the wall with an excited smile on her face. She climbed quickly down the rope before pulling it down with her and running back to the car. Smiling in triumph, The men waited for her to jump in and then sped off in the car. At 12:23, the thieves passed Frank's. To be continued. Part 2. Subscribe now.